evening. Hello, welcome. My name is Inbal. I'm a psychic, a tarot reader, and a witch, and a whole bunch of other things. And I'm here with you on the Bigfoot Outlaw Network. We're a YouTube slash podcasting channel right across the esoteric field. We have programs with psychics, with ghost hunters, with UFO kings and queens, with witches, and with cryptids connoisseurs. So if it's a little bit odd, we probably have it here. Here on the show, I deal with psychic development. I'm a working psychic of many, many years. Um, it has been my full-time job since the first 2000. So that's what, 25 years, long time. And I have always taught people how to do what I do and how to do all the things that they can do. I have a lot of courses. Those courses don't tell you stuff that I don't tell you out here, for free as well. What you get with the courses is you get to access them whenever you need to, and they're nice and tidy, and you can do them at your own pace. But what I wanted to talk about today is something that has come up in multiple conversations today. And that made me think that is probably something that people are very interested in today. So I'm going to mention about it. I have got a few lessons in my practical witchcraft course about this topic. We're going to get to it in a minute. First, I'm going to introduce to you how things work out around here. So if you look around the screen, I don't know if you're seeing things exactly the same way that I'm seeing them. Can you see the Bigfoot Outlaw sign there? So the Bigfoot Outlaw logo tells you what channel we're on. We are broadcasting live right now on Facebook, on YouTube, Facebook 3 channels, YouTube 2 channels, on LinkedIn, on Twitch, and on my Instagram. You are able to send messages to screen via whichever platform you're watching us through. I'm saying us because it's true for all of it. I'm not us, I'm just me. But it's true for all the programs. So if you're watching it, for example, on the Bigfoot Outlaw YouTube, you can send a message underneath the Bigfoot Outlaw YouTube, and I'll get it right here on the screen, and I'll be able to flash it up for you. So, for example, Mark has sent his message I think an hour ago. Did you do it an hour ago? So obviously when the show was scheduled, and it says, "Good evening, Inbal. I hope that you're okay." I am. Good evening, everyone else. Please remember to like, thumbs up on the various platforms so you know when Inbal and others are on. So yes, please like, please subscribe. This is what a message look like when sent from YouTube. Now, you might be watching it on a different channel on YouTube and you're thinking, wait, I can't see Mark's message. He might be watching it live on a different YouTube channel. So we're all sort of coming here to the screen, but we could be watching it on different platforms. Those of you who are watching or listening later on, you can't send messages to screen. I mean, you can comment, I don't mind, but you can't send messages to screen, but you can enjoy the content, you can enjoy the topics that we look into, maybe learn, maybe have a few laughs together. So after the show is done on all those platforms, it goes out as a podcast on all the podcasting networks. I don't even know how that works. On the podcasting networks, allegedly. So I'm gonna flash up some of your messages. I'm going to greet people coming in, obviously, and then I'm going to go into the topic. So First of all, we've got Crystal J saying hello, 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 Crystal J. We've got Roger Blair saying howdy, everyone. Oh my goodness me. We've got Grizz, whose channel it is. You'll notice that his Facebook logo is the same as our logo. So this is Grizz runs the channel saying hello, 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 hello. Where are you? I know that Grizz moved house, but I don't even know where to and where from. Sandy says hello and bell blessings. Mark says mirror image, so opposite to how you see it. So I see the logo here, so you might be seeing it there. Mark says, yeah, darling, I did. I didn't know if I was going to be here on time. Thank you so much for setting up the message before we even started. Sabrina is greeting. And I'm in the middle of a conversation with you on the thing, so I'll say more things afterwards. Greeting everyone. Right. So the topic I wanted to get into is psychic self-defense. It kept coming up today. It kept coming up in random conversations. It kept coming up in readings. How do we defend ourselves from evil eye, from other people sort of wishing badly on us, from other people's toxic energy, from other people's negative energy? How do we do it? Lots of different ways. Now I'm going to share it. So I'm just arranging myself to fit in the screen a little bit better. So I'm going to share some of my favorite ways, and I would love for you to share some of yours. Very, very important that we're on the same page. I say we never curse. I don't say I never curse. I say we never curse, because all of us in this, I suppose, community, in this kind of life, we all want like good stuff to happen to us, right? And if you want good stuff to happen to you, you do not curse. I don't either. That's why we don't curse. But sometimes very important to stop people from getting messy with our energy, to stop people getting uncomfortably close when they're not supposed to. So there are different techniques, strategies that help you stay safe while you're out there. So Mark says, psychic Bruce Lee style. Yes, that's right. I've got the greetings flashing up on the screen for you guys. And I'm going to start with one of my favorite ways to deflect any negative energy, any negativity, any evil eye, curses, hexes, anything like that sort of comes towards me. So this is one that I think I picked up from my best friend, my bestie that I grew up with. We both grew up like really, really unspiritual, like super, super unspiritual. We were just, it was the 80s. We're on our bikes. We're dirty all the time. And both of us, in completely different routes, completely different paths, have found our way to spirituality so that we exchange like tips and tricks together. So I think I picked this one from her. Shout out, bestie. And she showed me how you would visualize, I would visualize kind of a pole, like a straight line, like a straight stick going, and picture yourself stood up. Yeah, I'm not going to stand up because then you're going to see my problem areas, and I'd rather you focused on the face and on the hair. Look, we're doing a good hair day. But imagine yourself standing up, and imagine a pillar, going from the top of your head all through your body, all the way down to your feet. And that pillar, that pole, is completely round and completely mirrored, so that any energy, positive or negative, that comes towards you then bounces back exactly the same way towards the giver. Just like if somebody were to send a laser beam or an I beam, like look at a mirrored surface, and whatever they send out comes back, whatever they send in comes back out. So that is the kind of the pole, the pillar. I don't really know how to refer to it. The aluminum pole method. It's not very glamorous. It's so super effective. What's beautiful about this energy is that you're not creating anything of your own. You're just reflecting what's come towards you. So if you can stand, do. We're going to do it together. If you can stand, do. If you cannot stand, sit. That's fine. And if you can close your eyes, do. If you're listening to me while driving, please, for the love of all that is holy, keep your eyes open. So just like with any visualization, take a deep breath and exhale. Deep breath and exhale. Feel your feet firmly on the ground, keeping you safe and secure. And now picture a perfectly shiny, perfectly rounded pillar, like a pole, going all the way from the top of your head through your body and all the way down. And you feel that it feels cool, but very, very at home. It feels natural. It feels protective. And now look around you and picture in your mind's eye energy coming at you from the people next to you, from people far away from you, from the next door neighbors, from different cars. Again, if you're doing this while driving, please, safety first. And see how every bit of energy that flies your way then goes right back to the giver. So anyone that throws love your way, it goes right back at them. Anybody that throws negativity your way goes right back at them. Now, this is not something to do permanently. It's not something to have within you constantly. Some techniques for protection are better as a permanent technique. This one is much better as a temporary thing. If you're going somewhere and you don't know anybody, or if you're around people that are like generally, suspect, why this is not something that you want to do like all the time, because sometimes you want those energies of love to sort of go in and stay in. You want like the universe to embrace you with positivity. So that is one method. We're going to go through a few other methods later on. When you're done with it, just visualize it exiting. I like to see it sort of come in from the very top of my head, from the crown chakra. But, I like to see it leave the same way. In magic, in my personal opinion, it's always good to undo things in the exact same, in the reverse order and exact same direction that you did things. So you cast a circle one way, you open the circle the other way, and so on. So let's see. I think we've got a good message from Mark. I saw it disappear. There we go. I hope it's something good. I just saw a lot of words and threw them on the screen without monitoring them. It says, my absolute favorite, and one I intend to put in my book next year, is imagine a bubble with a zip to zip up. And if you feel under pressure, psychically then imagine white light and zip it up. I love that. I've never heard of it. I absolutely adore it. And I think there's something. So what Mark says, that you visualize yourself in a bubble. That bubble can be filled with white light when you need to, but for the most part, it's not necessarily filled with anything. The zipper is open, you're interacting, you're sort of going about your normal life, going about your daily life. And then if you feel like you need a bit of psychic self-defense, then you fill it with white light, zip it up in your mind's eye, and then you're comforted in like psychic cotton wool. You're safe. So that is a really, really beautiful way. I'm going to leave it on the screen just for a couple of seconds while saying, so everybody can read it, everybody can enjoy it, picture it in your own unique way, while saying that a bubble around you is always a great idea. It could be a bubble of, no color that gets filled up with white light. It could be a bubble that is full of a specific energy color. It could be a bubble that the outside, that the surface of the bubble is a specific color, a color that might correspond with the kind of energy that you'd like to draw in. So walking around in a bubble is in fact something that you can do as a more permanent thing, because that bubble doesn't stop you from interacting. Sorry, not interfering. Doesn't stop you from interacting with the people around you. Now, that bubble can be different colors, maybe just visible to you, might not be visible to everybody around you, but that bubble can also be used as what do you call, like invisibility cloak of invisibility. So that bubble can leave you protected from everybody else. There we go. We've got beautiful feedback from Sabrina for Mark for your wonderful idea, saying, I imagine a bubble too. I like the zipper. I'm going to start to do that. Thanks. I might start to do that as well, because there's something very like satisfying with the personal agency of zipping it up. Zipping it up really says, so long, mister. It says, do not enter. I love that zipper action. There's something very about it. Lucianne says, the Gaelic came. Oh, I feel like I missed something. Let me scroll up and get some more messages that I haven't seen. Lucianne says, good evening, beautiful. Good evening, beautiful you. Sandy's got a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful contribution here. We're going to go back to that in a second. I'm just looking at the general messages. Mark saying, I was trying quick with so few characters. Hope it made sense. Oh, typing quick. Nilda's here. Blessings, blessings. Lots of hearts. Michelle, greeting each person. Thank you, Michelle. You angel. What is the Gaelic cane? Is that a way to protect yourself? Oh. So Lucianne says, the word came, pronounced Kayem. Oh, I was really far. Is a Scottish Gaelic term that deeply resonates with my heart for many reasons. It represents protection and is a symbol of sanctuary. I love it. So do you use it just by speaking the word? Of course, we like to say that, that words are magic. That's why a spell is called a spell, right? So do you speak it? Do you write it? Is there a symbol that you can use as like a symbol of protection for that Kayem, which I promise you I'm going to read wrong each and every time? And Mark responds, it works. Trust me on that, Sabrina. I've used it a lot in the past. Is it in your old area? You must have had to use it with your old neighbors. Kay says, good day to all the beautiful souls. Glad I saw it. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Glad you're here. And Mark says, Paul Grady apparently found a witch jar in his garden when he moved to his farm. Interesting to say the least, but he had belief in Wicca as well. He was very open-minded and so ahead of his time. So that was Sandy's idea, a witch's bottle, a witch's jar, which funnily enough also came up in conversation today, didn't it? And this idea is, I feel like it became really, really popular when the sort of witch talk generation really blew up, because a witch's jar, even though it's like really, really antique, but a witch's jar is just so pretty. It's such a pretty way to get your magic on, such a pretty way to get your protection on. So so it went from being very niche into being a very loved staple. And the way to create a witch's bottle, a witch's jar, is generally in a glass jar. I've seen a lot of people purify it before using it, cleanse it, purify it, and then you put all the spell ingredients right there into the jar. So you've got a witch's jar that is for blessing. So you put, maybe you write whatever it is that you want to bless, new job, whatever. And then you put like positive things in there, sweet things in there, and so on. And it can be exactly the opposite. It can be a witch's bottle, witch's jar for trapping any negativity. And then it'll have like bits of broken glass in it. It'll have graveyard dirt. I'm literally not even making it up. Of course it would have graveyard dirt. Why wouldn't it? It would have like coffin nails. And what that's supposed to do is that if a witch comes at you, then you trap her in the jar, or trap the bad vibes in the jar, and they get so confused that they don't know how to come out of that jar. And I used to know a witch that was huge on the idea of a honey jar. It was just so pretty. So she used to do a lot of money magic. A lot of money magic. And she would put like coins, dollar notes, blessings for work and so on. She used to put it in a really big jar that was a real abundance energy about it. And she'd fill it up with honey, like all the way up, and then kind of seal it. And it was all like really messy. It wasn't my thing, first of all, because I'm Pisces. I'm not really very materialistic, and also I do not like honey. So even this sort of simple, no. But it was not only pretty, but very, very effective. So a witch's bottle, a witch's jar is a beautiful idea, very effective, and can lend itself to lots of different ways of doing things. So that is beautiful, beautiful. Love the idea. Let's flash up some more messages. We've got more ideas coming in. Oh, I love it so much that we're all thinking together. So Lucian's, oh no, we already had that. We had Gay saying hello. Right, there we go. So Lucian explains how to use that Kayam, the word. Says, I draw it around me as a circle, and then a tube forms around me to the heavens and Isis's wings. Right, so I love that. So what you're doing is basically creating a circle of protection by etching out the word into the air with your fingers, presumably, although you could do it with, say, a wand or an athame, etching it into the air, and then it becomes a circle of protection. And then you're adding Isis's wings, which I love. I think anything can be improved by adding a little bit more goddess to it. It doesn't matter what it is. Throw a bit of goddess energy, you've improved it. That's beautiful. Again, I'd like to leave that on the screen for a little bit so everybody reads it in their own pace, because it is such a fabulous technique. And I'm going to go through the different ways of maybe casting a little circle of protection. So circles are phenomenal shapes for protection. You know how I said before that the witch's bottle, the one with the nails and the graveyard dirt and stuff, is supposed to kind of trap the witch because she doesn't know how to exit. There's something about a circle which also prevents the energy from exiting, because all the different angles are as strong as each other. We don't have any weak points, you know, for the energy to escape. You can cast a circle just in the air. My favorite way is just cast a circle with my finger all around me. I walk around as I cast it because I don't want to like pass it from one finger to the other, but that's also a possibility. And I like to see a trail of silver light come out, and I'll still kind of see it after it's done. Once you've cast a circle, you can cleanse the inside of the circle with salt, water, incense, which is air and fire together, or you can cleanse before you cast the circle so that everything is cleansed, and then you create the circle as your safe space inside the circle. Many different ways. This is a beautiful way to do it. I love it. And again, one that I've never done before. I've never done like drawing a word, so I'm learning and I'm loving it. Kay says, good day all, Nelda, Michelle, Roger, Crystal, very cute. She says, rushing, want to say, hey, in here, life or today, many synchronicities. My favorite thing, love synchronicity. Mark says, yeah, but also during my battle for my life and since, but not in the past, maybe 2 years, right? Because you've had better neighbors. It's funny that you've had better neighbors in front of the deep in Leeds than what you had before that. And agree, Paul Grady, what a legend. I know, loved by everyone. Lucianne says, the best bit with a witch's jar is wax sealing it and choosing your favorite stamp. Do you know, I really think it adds so much to magic when it's pretty, when it's like pleasing to the eye. And even in kind of very traditional, like the dull end of Wicca, one of the reasons for using incense is because it's pleasing to the goddess. If something is cute, if something is pretty, if something smells nice, then, you know, then that's kind of positive for everyone. So I'm loving the wax, loving the idea of a stamp. I'm a very low-key witch. I don't have a lot of things. So I think, well, if I was to get like the wax and the stamp, where am I going to put everything and that? So yeah, I'm a little bit boring. I'm like, tie a knot, that is it, we're done. But I appreciate so much when I see pretty things, when I see pretty ready-made things. And if you're not somebody that feels comfortable making stuff, it's really cool to buy. It's probably the best when it's like, you know, witches buying from witches. So if you're getting it in person in a shop, that's cool because you can feel the energy of it. But even if you're only able to shop online, say if you live in in quite a difficult area where you have to order stuff in, or if you're not very mobile, shopping online is again totally fine. Have a little look at the whole store, see what kind of reviews they get, see what kind of people review their stuff. There was a time when all of my babies were quite small and I'm quite far from, well, from all the crystal shops. Now there's a crystal shop in the next village, but that only launched in like March. I used to be a half-hour drive from my nearest crystal shop when all the kids were small and I was doing spell work for people. I used to go on Etsy. Other websites are available. I used to go on Etsy and kind of see which of the crystal shops there appeared genuine. And I was looking for a big citrine. I don't even remember what spell it was for. It was for somebody. And I saw a sort of very nice size citrine for what I thought was a fair price. So I looked at the reviews, and one of the reviews said, okay, you have to sit down for this one. So one of the reviews said, great shop, quick service. I bought this because I'm going on TV tomorrow, and I wanted something to keep me calm. And then it was the name, it was a couple, it was their names in the end. And I was like, what? Because those people that had bought the crystal were going on TV. That was, it was like a review from a few weeks before. They were going on TV to a show where I was in the studio the same day. Now, I don't go on TV like all the time. That was like brand new to me. And I actually remember when I turned out for that job that I messaged my husband and said, there's a couple of ladies here that look like witches. So those witches had bought an Etsy crystal, left a review that I saw weeks later when I was looking on Etsy, and I was thinking, is this shop good? Is this shop not good? Not only, so I bought the crystal, but then when I had like their names, I remembered their names, but didn't know how to spell it. And, you know, whether it was like their real names, had their names, found them on Instagram, messaged them as well. that was mental. So yeah, sorry if that was a bit of a boring story, but what I mean by it is it's totally cool to shop online for things. It's totally cool to use our current technology to assist us with our witchy life. But yeah, just have a little look. Make sure that what you're getting is genuine. You're getting it from genuine people who walk their talk, and that you're supporting people within the community. That was the purpose of that whole story. Kay says upside down broom or not. Right. What do you use the upside down broom for? I've got my broom there. I said I don't really have a lot of stuff. 6-foot broom I have. So what do you use the upside down broom for? Is that for breaking a curse? Upside down broom for protection? More info, please. Mark says, nice one, Lucienne. Right. Kay says, I remember broom in corner. Okay, looking one too. I've got, but do you mean mine? Do you mean yours? But yeah, got a lovely one. Kay says, Manuka honey. Ooh, is that a special one? Lucienne says, depends how quick you need it. Finger, wand. I remember what this is for. Do you remember what this answer is questioning? Sabrina says, I do witch's jar for blessing. It's a beautiful technique. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Ooh, so Lucienne says, for cats, it's obviously a square. That's their safety shape. If I fits, I sits. When I had cats, when I used to have a coven in my house, we would cast a circle, we'd stand in a circle, and the cats would come and sit in the circle with us, like they'd know immediately. Mark says you can also do a circle of salt and water. I'm typing this as you said it. Yeah, exactly. A circle is always a great shape. So I had to do, didn't have to do. So I was doing a very, very tiny protection spell for a client overseas. She had been doing readings on social media, and she, where she lives, it would be like really bad for her if it came out that she was doing psychic readings, so she wanted to keep it quiet, and somebody had discovered who she was anyway. So I remember that I was running to do a really quick spell for her. My kids were still very young. It was difficult to sort of find what to do. So what I did is just take a tea light, like a candle, scratch her name into it. And because I wanted for it to be a protection, it was really important for me to do that there was a circle. And here in the boxes, I've got some like table decorations, from doing parties and stuff. So it's just like necklaces. It's sort of tatty stuff that makes the table look a little bit more, carnival. And one of the things there is a necklace, and the necklace is, of course, a circle if you stretch it in the shape of a circle. So I took that tea light, put that necklace around it to represent the circle, to make sure that her energy is contained, that she is protected, lit it, person disappeared. No, nobody was harmed, obviously, in the making of this story. Okay, it's sending us spirals. Luciane says, absolutely, bringing joy through visual, audio, scent is a power in itself. Yes, absolutely. Tattoo it on your forehead. That when magic is joyous, when magic is joyful, it's so much more effective. It's so much more enjoyable. And Sian says, I make my own blended incense, candles, wands, so many things. Let me know if you're interested or intrigued. Very interested, very intrigued. Would you be able to maybe come on the show as a guest? I don't mean right now. I mean like with preparation. I'm not saying, let me send you an invite, but I would love to know more. I would love to view what you do and all kinds of stuff. Luciane says, I have all the items if you have a maximalist here. Exactly. I'm a minimalist. I need maximalists in my life who always have everything. I'm a minimalist, and you know what the irony is? I would love to be even more of a minimalist. I look around and I think it's too much. It's too much here. It's too much junk. It's too much garbage. But I can't throw things. I've got 4 children. Each one comes with their own set of garbage, and I feel so trapped by having lots of things. So I don't know how maximalists do it, because the maximalists in my life also manage to keep everything a lot tidier than I do, and move houses, without breaking a sweat. My hat is off to you. But if you would consider, I would be so honored. Mark says, we do know what brooms were used for apparently many, many years ago, don't we? We won't go there. It's not something we can discuss, sadly. But yeah, so brooms were used for many different things, but the build of the broom symbolizes the masculine and the feminine together. And there are stories about what flying ointment, in fact, was. Luciane says, oh, yes, kitties love magical energy. Mark says, the person disappeared. I have a list of people who can sort for me then. The person disappeared from the socials. So, like I said, my client and friend, my client was giving readings. She's gone from not reading at all, not believing in it, into giving like real first-rate, professional, accurate readings in the space of maybe 2 or 3 years. she learned such a lot. She was really devoted to it. And she was really sort of only giving readings on the socials for almost no money at all. It wasn't like free because you need an exchange of energy, but it was for next to nothing. And she was discovered by somebody that said he's going to expose her, he's going to tell her community, blah, 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 blah. But when she did the magic, the person vanished from the socials. He didn't vanish from the earth plane. He didn't vanish from being alive. So yeah, it's I can disappear people for you from your consciousness, but not necessarily from like the whole world. Sandy says, especially if it's warm and crackles. Now, we have done so many different directions of the chit chat that now I'm so sad to tell you, I don't even know what we're talking about the warm and crackles. Is it about the broom? Is it about the broom with a flying ointment? Lucianne says, would love to. Are you available next Tuesday? Wait, am I around next Tuesday? Wait. Am I around next Tuesday? I'm definitely around next Tuesday, 10 a.m. That's not, isn't it? Yes. Are you around the 1st of July? Let me know. It's the first day of the second half of the year. Would you be available? And would we all want to see Lucianne showing her special wares? I would love it so much. If you're around next Tuesday, I would be so excited to have you on. Robert says, hey, love. And Sabrina says, oh, when I put on my facial creams, I do a protection or love rune sigil on face, usually both. Then I spread it. Not sure if I'm explaining it correctly. You're explaining it perfectly. So let's say if you've got like a face cream, so, regular people would be like tap, 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 and then rub it in. Whereas you would put a love rune sigil. Which one do you do? Do you do this? Or a protection. So maybe this. Do you do it on the forehead, on the whole face, and then rub it in? So that actually sort of brings us to the whole genre of drawing things on things. So you do this and then you rub it in. I used to have a high priestess that would just sort of anoint us with a little oil moon, and you couldn't see it. It was just a little oil moon, but it was such a beautiful way of kind of being welcomed into the goddess. I know people that will draw, like with the spoon, draw a 5-pointed star into their coffee. You can draw into sand. But yeah, I think this is a wonderful, spectacular technique. I actually do the windows, not as often as I should do. And I don't actually do the actual windows. Actually, I meant just sort of do a sigil over the windows with my finger to protect them. So it's from a similar kind of school of thought. That is a beautiful idea for everyone to share. I hope you all saw it. Mark says, as you know, it was a joke, but I can make people disappear with the right spell, of course. Not literally disappear, but in the way you do. Right. So this is actually something that I think is important to discuss when we look at using magic to kind of turn a negative into a positive, or into getting the result that we want, but without having to endure the bad karma that we might deserve. So many times I've had people who were clients who were really unhappy at work just because of one person. Just because of one person is making their life a misery at work. And they're like, when will they leave? Can you do anything for them to leave? And I say, well, you can do magic for them to get a better offer elsewhere. You can do magic for them to get a job offer overseas, live their best lives. As long as they're out of your life, you don't want them to be, in a ditch. You want them to just be gone. So doing a very, very positive magic to remove someone from your life, I think is really effective. Mark, greeting Robert, and look who is here. So Lindsay, the soft edit. Lindsay says, hey, Val, sending lots of new moon stars, vibes for tomorrow. Yes, so tomorrow, I know that it's like 11:30 in the morning UK time. So everybody else UK time is only one time. It's British summertime right now. So tomorrow is the new moon, and not only is it the new moon, it's the new moon in Cancer. Shout out to the lovely Cancers. Mwah, 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 mwah. Everyone loves you. Sandy says cats loving magic energy. Very, very nice. Sabrina says yes, please. Oh, yes. Fabulous. Could be interesting, Luciana. It will be interesting. I'm excited. Nilda says yes. At what time? Eastern time. So if we're looking at this show next week, it'll be like, this time, like 50 minutes ago. So Eastern time is 5, right? Because it's 10 p.m. here. So that makes it 5 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be amazing to have you with us. Luciane is playing hard to get, going, I will check my diary in the morning, but I think I'm free then. Oh, it'll be so good. Mark says, I'm researching rune sigils at the moment for next year to make my own. So I don't know if you heard, I don't know if we're supposed to talk about it, but you do know that Laura Daligan has got a runes book coming out that she has been working very hard at. It's coming out with like a proper publisher and everything. I think it's open for pre-order on Amazon. She's certainly got a hold of the pre-copies, whatever you call them, and I think it's out in September. So if you're researching the runes, make sure you've got Laura's bookie. Sabrina says, yes, on forehead and on each cheek. What a wonderful way to incorporate magic into your life. Lindsay says, that's cool, Mark. I have a few cool sets that were handmade. It sounds beautiful. Luciane says, mirror spell has always worked so well for me, and those I've suggested to a friend of mine had trouble with her neighbors. I suggested she get some little craft mirrors and place them facing out on her property boundary. The next day, super friendly neighbors. So the mirror is the same genre of spells as the pole, as the sort of the pillar. It's the mirror that does the work. I've heard of that pole as like a disco ball. So you've got like a full mirror ball so that anything comes at you sort of goes out, because I suppose the pillar is a little bit 2-dimensional, isn't it? Whereas the disco ball, that's 3-dimension. But yeah, working with mirrors sounds very, very exciting. Mark says, indeed, as you know, I live by the rule of 3. So I'm very careful what I send out. I learned that the hard way, but 25 years has taught me a lot. Yeah, that should go on a t-shirt. 25 years got me a lot. Mark says 9th of September. Laura's book coming out. Is that the 9th of September? Thank you very, very much. Sabrina says, maybe put them in the freezer. The annoying person. Maybe. Lindsay says, hey, and Val, the soft edit is my new but I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, binaural beats short meditation series. That's me too, Cancer. Oh, I'd love to know more about that. I really would. Sabrina says, "Yeah, new moon in Cancer. Happy birthday to all my fellow Cancers. Beautiful." And Luciane is loving the idea of an inner disco ball. We have tonight had a look at all sorts of different ways of psychic self-defense. I came up with a few, you came up with lots. I feel like I learned a lot from all of you. I don't want to get too excited too far in advance, but hopefully this time next week we will be wrapping up with Lucienne, who will be showing us all her products and her skills and her gifts, and maybe telling us a little bit about her background within the craft, right? So I'm going to carry on with my evening. I'm going to wish you a very, very positive and very, very exciting new moon for tomorrow. Make sure you prepare all of your wishes. The Cancer new moon is great for families, for the home, your household, for caring, creativity, and all matters of the heart. So those could be your wishes to sort of bring a little bit more love into the household. I will hopefully see you Thursday lunchtime here with me and Laura, hopefully. And for the moment, I'm wishing a wonderful new moon to everyone. Bye.